We had mobile hospitals. People would come all over the world to come to the hospitals of the Muslims. And if we look at the situation now, again, it's completely reversed. Yeah? Our hospitals now, they probably don't even have running water. Some of them don't have electricity. Yeah? They probably couldn't even do cataracts operations like we could do, over 1,000 years ago. This was the level that the Muslims reached in terms of medical care. And again, it's because of this motivation of looking after people. Another motivation was that Muslims wanted to make the Ummah strong. Yeah, they wanted to defend the Ummah, and they wanted to be able to convey Islam to the rest of the world. Now, if you want to do that, it's a good advantage, yeah, if you've got technology and you've got a strong military. Okay, because the nation that's got good technology and scientific know-how, generally people will be attracted to it. And as well, you could build a strong military with all of this know-how, yeah? So the Muslims were the first ones to invent gunpowder. Yeah? So while everyone else was, throwing arrows and using spears and all this stuff, we were shooting bullets. Yeah? We were firing cannons out of cannons, yeah? Using gunpowder. So this made all of those techniques at the time completely obsolete. So this was a massive advantage for the Islamic army. Another thing, subhanAllah, I'm not making this up, brothers, but the Muslims made the first torpedo in 1275. Yeah? I'm sure we've got nations now, Muslim nations, that can't make torpedoes. Yeah? We were making them in 1275. And what it was a tube, and it had metal bits at the end, and it was powered by gunpowder. And it would actually go in the water, and it would strike boats and all this sort of thing. Yeah? And we even had, in the 14th, 15th century, the first manned rocket. Actually, I think it might have been 16th century. The first manned rocket in Istanbul. So a man called Salebi, he attached himself, to this rocket. He lit it, and like in the cartoon, he shot up, and over the Bosphorus, he sort of glided into the river. But this was the first manned rocket, and as a result, the Khalif at the time, he gave him a military medal and a reward, etc. Again, showing that, the Khulafa, they really appreciated this technological advancement and the efforts of the people. Brothers, we even had, subhanAllah, in the Battle of Enjalut, the soldiers wore fireproof vests. Fireproof vests made of silk tunic. And these are the vests that Formula 1 drivers still wear today. Under all of their clothes, they still wear this type of vest. And this was something that was worn in the Battle of Enjalut, I think 1240, the 13th century. Almost 800 years ago, we were wearing this sort of thing. So, in military, in medical care, in all of these fields, the Muslims, they made major strides because of the motivation set down to them by the Shara. And there's a lot of other amazing strides that we make. I'll give you some more examples. As we saw in the video, they showed a camera. And there was, I think it was Al-Haytham, he's the first one who realized that light split into many colors. And he was the first one to capture an image in a camera. And if it wasn't for his innovation, we wouldn't have TVs, monitors, cinemas, camera phones, anything like that. We wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for his work in optics. We also had the work done in maths. So as I mentioned before, Al-Khwarizmi, he pioneered algebra. And algorithm is actually named after him. Now algorithms, they're used in computers and in data processing. So if it wasn't for him and his innovation, we wouldn't have computers either. And as I mentioned before as well, we pioneered a lot of the innovations in engineering. Crankshafts, axles, gearboxes, all of this stuff, even steam-powered motion, this was all invented by the Muslims. I don't know if you guys own cars, but every car's got an axle. Every car's got a gearbox. I had to fix my axle on my car recently. So all of these innovations that were made, they're used in trains, cars, lorries, vans, even to this day. So this is how far you can trace back this innovation to the Muslims. And like I mentioned, the major reason for this is because the Shara and Islam motivated the scientists to pursue these fields. Yeah? But also there's another factor, which is that the state, yeah, the leadership and the government of the Muslims, they motivated the people to progress in these fields as well. So if you think about Bayt al-Hikmah, do you know how much money that would cost to open that place up and to pay all the people to work there and to keep that going for hundreds of years? Yeah, that takes a lot of money, a lot of resource, a lot of planning, a lot of time. Yeah, this is only something that could be done by a government that's interested in science and research. All of these major universities, yeah, do you think that the people just suddenly came together and thought, let's build a university, and just started putting the bricks together? The governments used to plan these things, yeah, and they used to invest the money, and they used to organize it and plan it, and get the best architects to build these universities, and hire the best people to work in these universities. So we mustn't forget that there is a great link and a great importance between the state and the government and all of this research and innovation that was done at the time. Now brothers, if we look at the advancement the Muslims made, it was always geared towards a need, yeah, or to help people, to defend Islam, to convey Islam to other nations. Yeah? This is where the progress was really made. I just want to compare that to the technology that the West has pioneered, because there's no doubt that the West has progressed massively in science and technology. Okay, so within 200 years, from the Industrial Revolution till now, we can see around us the consequences of Western scientific and technological development. So electricity, internet, computers, all of this stuff. Yeah? Even though you could link it all the way back to Islam, but they've made this progress. Yeah? But the difference is the motivation. So if you look at the motivation for Western progress, what is it? It's for benefit and it's for money. Yeah, commercial interests. That's why they progress and they develop this technology. And this is a very, very, very different motivation to what the Muslims had. So that's why in the West they developed this thing called a patent. Now a patent is a legal protection of your idea. So you might come up with an idea or a technology or a medication even, a life-saving medication, yeah? And you can patent that for up to 20 years. And if by patenting it, what you do is you prevent anybody else from using that idea, using that medication, or using that technology. And these patents, they last 20 years, but you can even get them renewed and lengthened even more. So what you're doing is, surely this is stifling technological and scientific advancement, because you make this idea and you prevent anybody else from using it. And what they've got nowadays is these things called patent trolls. Now patent trolls, they're research groups that come up with ideas and then they patent them straight away. And they've got no intention whatsoever of using these ideas and developing them further. But they come up with them and they patent them, and they just sit back and they wait for someone to infringe on the patent, and then they sue him. Yeah? So they haven't even got the intention of using the idea and developing it further, but they just want to sit back and sue people that want to use it and take it further. So this is the level that it's got to. It's purely about money. And I can list many examples, brothers, of technology that's been developed that's had very harmful consequences. Yeah, I'll just mention one. It's a technology that was developed by a company called Monsanto. I don't know if you brothers have heard of it. Monsanto is a biotech company that many people call the most evil company in the world. And what they developed is a seed called the Terminator seed. And the Terminator seed, what it does is when you plant it, all the seeds that grow on that plant, they're sterile. Yeah, because farmers, what they do is they plant crops, and when they harvest their crop, they take all the seeds and they plant them again, and then you get this cycle. Yeah, but the seeds that are produced from this crop, they're sterile, so they don't grow. And the worst thing is that if these seeds spread to other farms, they'll cross-pollinate and they'll make those seeds sterile as well. So what Monsanto was envisaging is that one day everybody will have to buy their seeds from them, because they would have made all the seeds sterile in that country. Yeah? This is the level of their thinking. It's not about, you know, the benefit for the farmer, the benefit for the third world, helping them, increasing the yields. It's purely about making them dependent on them